identification card. Even greater in its scope of data processing than any social security number, and greater in its scope of getting your personal information than all of the licenses in the United States combined. And this is a direct attack on our privacy. It is a direct attack on our privacy. And we are losing our fundamental rights. You know, there are ways for you to find out that everything I say is true. You can go Google it, you know, at www.google.com. You can actually go to www.house.gov and look up the roll calls and look under the Military Commissions Act of 2006. Sometimes it's known as MCA. And you can find out how the two candidates voted. Now, that took away habeas corpus and took away a lot of rights that have been guaranteed to Americans since even before America was formed. In other words, even the British government allowed and adhered to habeas corpus. Our country currently doesn't. So, I'm making this video to let you know that this is the most election of all time. There's no question about it. We will also have a president that will appoint an additional 2 to 3 Supreme Court justices. And it is very possible that we could have an all one-sided Supreme Court, all conservative. Conversely, one might think, well, that's partisan. No, it's not. If the case were that we would have an all liberal court, I would be concerned. We must have checks and balances in government to avoid what's going on right now, which is attacks on the Constitution. What you need to know is that one candidate has voted consistently in favor of taking away your liberties. They claim it's to protect us. But security without liberty is not protection. It is suppression. It is oppression. One candidate has voted for laws that oppress and suppress us. Oppress and suppress the American people. That's not me making false statements. That you can check on www.senate.gov. You can find out. Now, officially, there's about 4 or 5 candidates for president. One of them is a third-party candidate named Ronald Paul, also known as Ron Paul. He has consistently voted in favor of protecting your constitutional rights. The Republican and Democratic candidates have also voted on each and every one of these laws. One of the candidates has consistently voted in favor of protecting your rights and saying no to these oppressive laws. The other candidate currently running for president has consistently been in favor of laws that suppress your rights. But we talk about this election will decide which one is president. It will decide if we have a president that will do all that he can to make sure that every child in America has an education when they get to be college age, that every child has medical care, that every adult has medical care, and that we can get affordable medical care for all Americans. Some would say, how do we do that without raising taxes? How do we do that without ballooning the budget? Some would say that. But I ask all of them, what about the fact that the current president has the highest debt in American history. $10 trillion. A president that inherited a surplus of $1 trillion not only spent that entire $1 trillion, but put us an additional $9 trillion in debt. Of that money, at least $3 trillion went to wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I ask you, my fellow Americans, do you want a president that works to help our people at home get better health care, get better jobs so that we can't pay for it, get better educations, brings back manufacturing jobs in America and doesn't reward companies that outsource them, that takes away your job? Do we want a president who thinks about us, who cares about us, and works for us? Or do we want a president who would suppress us, who would cause the financial markets and our bank accounts and our lives to get worse? So my friends, the question is not, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? It is, can you afford the next 4 years?